We're a part of something special. We're a part of something special. It's a crack in time, a wrinkle falling from the nest, young eagle. I will pull my feathers out, stay humble, stay humble, stay humble, stay humble, stay humble. Uncle Mana taught us like an elder, took us under older brother. He said, this is powerful country, this is powerful country. And we felt like we were.
Boom. All right, we're live. We're now live. Welcome to the stream, everybody. I hope you guys could hear me all right. It might be a bit too loud. If it is, just let me know and I could turn things down. But we'll, yeah, you guys could probably, as you probably have noticed, Narashi is also on the screen.
Hello. Hi,
What's up?
everyone.
So we've actually decided to do something a little bit interesting here.
Yo, what up, my glip glops?
And that is, who just gave us an upvote? I have to check it out.
It's going to be me in a second, just so you know.
Okay, cool. So we've decided to do something interesting here, okay? And it is literally just an experiment. So feel free to come on in. What I've done is I've tossed a number up in the upper left-hand corner of the stream, so you guys could call in and like let us know what the hell is going on.
Yo, what up,
in
my glip glops?
your neck of the woods about all of this nonsense. So, anyways, you can probably yeah, you could probably see from the title of the screen we've dubbed this a Therapy Thursday, and it was actually Narashi's thought um, or idea, and I kind of went with it. I thought it would have been a good idea to try and make ourselves vulnerable and I don't know,
Yo,
talk
what
about
up, my
shit
glip glops?
shit that triggers us, right?
We're in
And
separate rooms for a good reason.
nonsense.
No, it's not that, but it's also a bonus.
Yeah. So yeah, I have no idea how this is gonna play out. I have no idea what to expect. So we're both on the same page there. I think whatever happens, happens. And um, let's see, what other disclaimers?
uh,
Like, definitely,
there,
okay, so definitely no, there's going to be zero hard feelings about this, okay?
hmm.
Zero. And we have to hold each other accountable to that.
Yes, we do, because we get
Uh,
emotionally driven sometimes.
so yeah, if you guys decide this is a little bit too much for you, tune out, leave,
Let us
and
know
that's
you're
okay.
leaving, though, because it's too much, because we need to know.
And that's cool. Or we'll try and find a different way to kind of drive the conversation and shit like that. But don't be discouraged, and um, don't underestimate the conversation either. I think, yeah. Anyways, who knows? I have no idea where to take this. I honestly don't.
Yeah, it's kind of in the wind, and we'll see where it goes. Disclaimer on my part. So I read a lot on psychology, and I like to think I know what the hell is going on, but I really don't know what the hell is going on. So if I say something like this works or that works, don't necessarily take that with a grain of salt, because I'm just going with my own experience on things and what works for me. If the conversation like gets to that level,
Yeah, and that's
so
kind of probably what I'll leverage quite a bit, and you guys will see kind of like my tactics. But I'll leverage that quite a bit because it is each and every one of our own experiences that we deal with this life. We deal with other things that come in, this negative data, if it is, or how we deal with positive things. It's just everybody deals with things differently, and I kind of latch onto that idea and um, dismiss kind of what everybody else has to say because they're not seeing life through my eyes. So my experiences are the only true experiences in my head. That's it.
That makes sense. It's what you were accustomed to, right?
Right. Yeah.
Okay, so I had items that I wanted
Yeah.
both of us to
What do you have on
bring.
the agenda? Because and I failed at like my homework, right? I
Yeah,
failed.
he did not do his homework. He's gonna wing it, and so that'll be interesting. Mine's already in place. So items to bring, and we'll just
How
go
many
through
of us
one.
actually wing life though?
I mean, that's honestly the way it should be because
Yeah.
when you get into too much planning, that's when like it kind of goes along with expectations, right? You have expectations of things, and then things don't go how you thought they would go, and it's a shit show. So, but I
Yeah.
like to just have an idea in mind for myself. It helps me ease the anxiety of like coming on here and making myself vulnerable. So I have these items. The first item is current mood scale. On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the
Yo,
happiest
what up, my
you've
glip
ever
gloves?
been, where is your mood at right now, Gone Rogue?
My mood. I'm gonna drop this thing down a bit. Sorry. Hold on. Just a second here. Okay, we should be good there. I'll start seeing like the upvote notification GIF and stuff like that. Davey Z, thank you for joining. And
What's up, Davey?
yeah, man, if you want to contribute to the conversation, please do so. It's highly encouraged.
Yes.
Um, so yeah, mood scale. And by the way, anybody watching, welcome to the stream. I appreciate all you guys watching and tuning in to this weird ass therapy Thursday show.
Like, who
And
does this shit, though?
I have no idea.
We do, apparently.
But cool. Um, yeah, my mood scale is gonna be. This is perfect timing too because it's Thursday. I've been through most of my week at work. I'm exhausted. I'm tired. I'm irritated. I'm frustrated.
Oh, right.
Life is like, I've had it up to here. I've had it up to here. So like when I get into these moods, it's like I don't want to deal with any shit whatsoever. Okay, it's got to be legitimate. It's got to be straightforward. It's got to be um, organized and handed to me, or at least delivered in a streamlined way, something that's efficient. Because I don't want to waste any more time at the moment. That's it. Um, so perfect timing for therapy Thursday. Uh,
It's almost Friday, my love. Almost
yeah.
Friday.
Mood scale.
1 to 10.
10 being
The happiest you've ever been in your life.
1 being the most depressed I've ever been.
Hmm.
Um,
It's just for this
probably
moment, right?
probably a 5.
A 5, that's
Yeah.
good. So, and you already went into why, right? That you're at a 5, and I want to.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
So it's cool that you say that because that helps me understand a bit, right? I tend to like nag the shit out of you when you get home because I haven't seen you all day, right?
When I get home, you do that all day long, Lindsay.
Hey, no, I don't. I leave you alone at work sometimes. um, but yeah, it's good to know that like that's where you're at. You just don't have time for the nonsense in between, and like that registers in my brain. That makes sense to me, right? So that will help me to kind of like just to have that in mind when I interact with you, especially when you get off work and towards the end of the week and shit like that, to not like have my head bitten off.
Mhm.
um, so yeah, so do you have anything else
Me?
that you
No.
want to say? Okay,
No, in
so my
terms of what?
just on the mood scale,
No.
thoughts, feelings.
Nope.
Okay, so my mood scale right this moment is I would give it a 6. I'm also really tired too, so that energy level is just not there. Otherwise, I'd probably be about a 7.
Right.
Um,
Yeah,
but yeah, no,
I think, we talked
go ahead.
about this earlier today, but we're like, if this was our serotonin levels, like we're way down here.
Uh-huh.
It's like
Yep.
it's depleted. Our serotonin levels have depleted.
We need to be taking some 5-HTP.
5-HTP.
I mean, at least
It's a
at
it's
least
a it's
try
a
it.
it's a mood booster, right?
It is like it's something with the neurological signals in the brain. Um, but yeah, reasonings for my six, other than being, I mean, today was like a pretty lazy day for us, and I feel like I was just fatigued all day. So it's like that when you're, when you're kind of lethargic and shit almost all day. I think that kind of like takes down your happiness a bit.
Just so everybody knows, 5-HTP is 5-HTP is also known as 5-hydroxytryptophan. Okay, it's an amino acid. So 5-hydroxytryptophan. So tryptophan's like that. I think it's tryptophan that is in turkey, right? That makes you tired. It's like that.
Oh,
I,
that
I
could
think
be,
I
yeah.
think that's the chemical in turkey.
I
Okay.
think you're right, which would make sense because I usually want you to take 5-HTP at night. um,
Okay.
Yo,
But
so yeah,
what
anyway,
up, my
sorry.
glip glops?
no,
Go
you're
for
good.
it.
Who's upvoting? Thank you guys for the upvotes.
That was Mr. Spalding, John Spalding. Thank you for the
What's up,
upvote,
John?
dude. Okay.
Anything else before I move on to my next
Nah,
topic?
that was it. Just wanted to drop that in there.
Okay, so the next item on the list is 3 or more things in your life that you can't live without.
Myself.
Oh.
Are you kidding me?
That's a good
I
one.
cannot live without myself. There's no way. There's no way.
Well, you wouldn't be alive if you weren't alive, so
I
you
wouldn't say that. Like
you would be like that's like
there's like androids, right? There's like robots and bots. And what are the other synths? There's synths that they don't have consciousness, so they don't live with themselves. They just live a life that's been programmed. Anyway,
okay, so yourself, that's a good one.
um, 3 things I couldn't live without. 3 things I could not live without.
3 things in your life that you currently have that you could not do without.
So, um, it's one of them's definitely got to be the kiddos.
Mm-hmm.
Um, just so right now we do have kiddos. Uh, they're um 6 and 11.
10.
The kiddos that are with us now, 6 and 10. Um, and anyways, I have joint custody of them, so we're week on, week off with the kids.
Mm-hmm.
And our week off, and I say that because the week offs, I truly miss them, and I have no idea
Mm-hmm.
what to do with my time sometimes, or with myself. So the kiddos would be one of them. Um, hmm, I don't know. 3 things I couldn't live without.
It could be anything.
I know that, but they're probably pretty significant, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. My phone.
My feelings are hurt.
Did you want to be one of them?
Well, I hope to be included, yeah.
That's okay, and that's fine. That's like
That's an
this is
expectation. I
this is
mean, you're my
this is
partner.
this is exactly why we're having therapy Thursdays. Yeah, so your feelings are hurt. Your
I
feelings are
already
hurt
want to
because
cry.
your feelings are hurt because you didn't get picked.
Yeah, because basically,
And
if it came between me and your phone, you'd choose your phone, right? which
No,
I already
not
see on a
necess-
daily basis
not
anyway. So,
yeah, not necessarily. It's that I like not necessarily. Okay. Um, and so perfect. So
here we are, you guys.
yeah, so first things first is that like you said it, you had an expectation that you wanted to be picked. Yet
Yes,
it
I
you
did.
so basically you want to be needed by somebody else.
That's one
Um,
of the things I can't live without. Yeah.
you want to be needed by somebody else. Okay, so that isn't my problem, right? Um, I love you, but that's not an issue that is like at the forefront of my head, right? That's not me. I'm not the one living that way. I'm not the one living that life. Um, in my phone coming before you is I mean the way that I look at it is that I obviously I'm a fan of learning, huge fan of learning, and like the intake of knowledge is immense. I just want to take in as much knowledge and data as possible, right? Because I have a very short amount of time to live on this earth, or at least in this reality,
Yo,
in this
what up, my glip
parallel universe.
gloves?
SB9, thank you for the upvote. Um, that is my portal to that realm, right, of information gathering. Um, and I think yeah, that's where you and I differ, and probably like a lot of the older generation where uh, they don't particularly like the technological shit that's happening, where everybody's on their phones and shit like that. Where I think that like that's part of human evolution, and being a this transhumanist type mentality where we are technology and technology is us. Um, so yeah, that's the only reason why I pick my phone. It's because it is my portal into an unlimited stream of knowledge.
And I agree. Like I am attached to my iPad as well, right? Like that's not something I have on my list, but definitely one it's one of the things that like if I didn't have like a laptop or an iPad or something during the day, I would go insane. Um not being able to access, as you say, just not being able to access the internet. So I guess really the internet. Um but yeah, okay. So I'm gonna list my three things. Unconditional love.
You cannot live without unconditional
I
love. So
cannot live without.
let's repeat because there's like 12 other people that
Yo,
have joined.
what up, my
Yeah,
glip
yeah, yeah. So it's
gloves?
And
three or more things in your life that you can't live without.
yeah, and thank you guys for tuning into the stream of Therapy
Welcome.
Thursday. Welcome, welcome.
So unconditional love, validation from those closest to me, and all of my family. So you guys, my mom, my dad, my friends, my close friends like Val, Adam, people that support me really are my family. So yeah, I'm already emotional. God damn it.
Okay, so that's interesting though because um, everything that you chose had to do with a need for you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or
Yeah,
what was I trying to say?
that is the point.
Unconditional love. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Cool. All right.
Anything else, Bibbs,
No. No.
before
No.
I move on? So two or more things you're proud of for yourself for this week.
Um, I'm proud of coping. I've been able to cope through this massacre of
I'm proud of
nonsense.
you for that too, Bibbs.
Yeah.
I see it.
Cool. Yeah. So I've been
Yeah.
able to cope a little bit better this week. Even though like I feel like I'm getting a little bit sick too, so that's like part of the exhaustion and shit.
And the irritation,
Ugh.
just like not feeling 100%.
Yeah. No
And then
way.
you have to go to work.
Right. That on top of yeah, the the mental exhaustion that you get from work too. Yeah. So and what else that I'm proud of, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
that you're proud of yourself for?
Proud of myself for. Coping's probably the biggest one for sure.
I know you got more in there. Some of that self love, baby.
Some of that self love. uh, I don't know. I don't know. That's a hard one. Um, yeah. I don't know. I don't know. Actually, I'm proud of myself for coming on here and discussing therapy Thursday
Good.
and like trying to get this shit out of our, you know.
System.
Yeah, exactly. It's
Let's
like a
just get
blow
it out
off
there.
valve.
Yeah, it's like it's a good outlet, right? But I think too it'll help us understand each other, which is huge. Um, okay, so mine are rockin' stepmom thing like a boss, and my level of involvement with steaming pile.
Sweet. Nice.
Yeah. But I'm also proud of myself for coming here and like doing this too. It just even thinking about it today, my heart starts racing. Like
Yo,
shit,
Sean, thank you for the upvote. Sorry,
this
Arashi.
is like shit, this is happening today in like 5 hours.
Yeah,
I go
see,
do
I
this.
like I'm in the moment and it doesn't matter. We just kick off the stream and start talking.
And well, you're like used to that shit too. I hide in the background of the steaming pile and I'm happy that way. All right. So the other thing, so 3 or more I statements. So I statements are basically a way to approach um, essentially, I guess any conversation, but typically used for conflict, right? So instead of like let's say I have a problem with something that somebody did, right? Rather than going to them and saying, you suck because you did this and you that and all this finger pointing, the intent is to put the focus on to yourself. So not only are you like not putting the defenses up of the other person, but you're also taking ownership for the way that you're feeling
Mm-hmm.
about this certain behavior or whatever, right?
Right, right.
So an I statement structured looks something like I feel blank when blank because blank, and what I need is blank. Okay, what I need out of this situation or what I need from you is this.
And that okay, and that's fine. So you've structured a little sentence there, but I have no idea like um
I'll go
what the
first.
topic is. Like what are we
It's
focusing this on?
anything. So I took 3 things that like bother me or have habitually bothered me in our relationship as my example. So not necessarily that I'm like upset about these things right now or whatever, but this is like practice, I guess, for me personally to um, like learn how to communicate in that way, right?
Okay.
Because if we can communicate a problem to each other by using I statements, I think we're gonna get further in our like we might actually be able to solve a conflict instead of it becoming crazy and not able to resolve it, right?
Okay.
So that's the goal in the I statements for me. Um so okay, this is getting vulnerable, you guys. um it makes me feel sad and unloved when I'm ignored because I need validation from my partner. I understand things get busy and sometimes you don't get time to yourself. What I need is for you to be really present with me and really hear me when you can.
Okay, so that's one. What about your second one?
No, you go now.
I don't see. Okay, so I
I
feel
need to breathe.
like see. I don't know the structure of the sentence, but I'll tell you
Okay.
this. Like, I'll just respond back to what you just said.
Okay.
Um, I feel like I shouldn't be the burden to your happiness. Okay.
Okay.
And what? How do I end it off?
I feel blank because blank.
So I feel like I need to expel energy when I necessarily don't want to.
Okay.
Okay.
And the message that I get from that is that you really don't care.
Okay.
That's
Yeah, if that's the
yeah.
message that you get, that's fine. Like I'm not gonna yeah.
Yo, what up, my
I think
glip-glops?
I D-Live 24 hour, thank you for the upvote. I tell you this constantly. Like you can paint a picture of your own reality in whatever experience that you might have that kind of um, helps you paint that picture is fine. Like what I just got done telling you, right? Excuse me, but I don't want to be
Responsible for my happiness.
I don't want to be that. I don't want to be um like if I'm not there, you're now like gonna completely be unhappy, you know? Like how is that even okay?
No, no, no. It's just like I think for me, it's not that I expect you to make me happy. Like if I'm not going to be happy if I'm not creating that shit for myself. Like and I know that. But sometimes I need you, you know? Like sometimes I fucking need you.
Yeah, you say
I
sometimes. I'm telling you, it's all the fucking time.
It's not all the time. Sometimes I just want to be left alone too, you know? Like
And I want to
sometimes I
be
want space.
and that's perfect. Yeah. And that's fine. I'm and I don't say that that's wrong. I never tell you that that's wrong. It is that is who you are. If that's what you need, that's great, but I'm not the person that can offer you that, right? I'm not like that is I'm not here to be a servant to somebody else's happiness. I'm sorry. That is not me.
I
I
know,
I
okay, but
also have endeavors in life, and they aren't, due to they aren't in the realm of emotional attachment. They don't need, I'm not looking for somebody else to try and make me happy or something like that. I'm trying to look for something to make me happy, and who knows what that is? Okay, there's
yeah,
a
it could
whole
change tomorrow.
universe out there, and it can change tomorrow. Yeah. Um, or whatever satisfied, happy, fulfilled, complete, whatever that is, right? Who knows? But yeah, I'm not. Um, that's definitely not me.
And I get that. Like I get where you're coming from in that too, but I don't feel like I think okay, and because you see it as like I don't know, like this attachment like kind of from a codependent standpoint, right? Like that it's
Kind of.
just
It's
my
completely a codependent standpoint.
that it's my codependency. But there are realistic expectations when you like make a promise to be something for somebody, you know what I mean? And when you enter into a relationship, like there are like certain expectations that kind of, I mean, like every relationship is different, but I think everyone goes into a relationship expecting to be valued, you know, at the very least. um so like it's not like I don't need you on my fucking hip all the time, like, and I would get sick of you if you were. But like yeah, I do have certain needs within the relationship, and so that's like where this is coming from. It's not like
So really,
i,
what
I don't
Therapy
i don't
Thursday
expect you I don't
is
expect you to make
couples
me
counseling.
I don't expect you to like I don't expect you to bend over backwards or to like I don't know, like I don't expect you to go over the top or any of that shit. I just expect you to like to be a boyfriend, you know, like not that you're not, but like do you get what I'm saying? Do you get what
um,
I'm saying? And I don't always feel like you're here, you're checked out, you know?
yeah, I don't know where here is, quite honestly.
Here, present, in the present
I'm
moment
I'm in
with
the
me.
moment. I'm in
I
the
know you are
moment.
now. I know you are now.
Just because
I'm
I'm
just
not
saying,
in the moment with you doesn't mean I'm not in the moment. Um,
yeah,
and
but you could be checked out for weeks.
I could be. I could
And that
be.
not only am I
Being in the moment.
responsible for
Being in the
no
being in the
go ahead.
moment with I feel you. I feel you. Trust me. And like this might be a me problem. And who
Well,
knows?
it's
And it doesn't
both.
even matter, right?
It's
It doesn't
50-50.
matter. It and it doesn't matter. But it's to be in the moment with I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to
Like, and
have.
I don't expect you to always be right here in the moment with me. That's not what I'm saying. Just so you know, like, I don't expect you to give up yourself or your autonomy to make me happy, or
It's
even
what it
to
sounds like.
or even to like put the responsibility on you to make me happy. um
That's kind of what it sounds like to me.
I just want to be shown, like, if you care and you value me, I want to be shown,
Okay.
right?
That's
Because otherwise I'm
and
not going to remember.
that's great. That's fine. Yeah, I think everybody needs to have a certain
Yo,
level
what
of
up, my glip
respect and shit
gloves?
like that. But
Mhm.
um, I think your need for constant validation requires constant,
Work and effort.
which is like, no, listen, I've given you something for a minute or two, and that should be enough to take me through for a couple of weeks. You know what I mean? No, no, no. But
That's devastating. You spent a
I'm
1 minute
using,
with me. Now
using,
go away.
I'm just trying to use a scale here so that people understand where I'm coming from.
Yes, yes,
Like,
yes.
it cannot be if now this then goes against what you just said. I don't need constant shit from you. I don't need you
That's
to
not what I'm
sacrifice
asking
your
for.
shit.
Yeah.
But that's what it sounds like, right? Because then what is it? And how much is going to be enough? And will there ever be enough? And is it? Oh my God, no!
See, that's where the me problem comes in, right? Because
And
you're right.
I'm sacrificing myself to be here to talk about this shit because I don't like to talk about this shit.
I know, I love you for it. um, what was I gonna say? No, no, no. So yeah, that's where the me problem comes in, right? Is that you're right. I do have codependencies, abandonment issues, separation anxiety, and shit like that. So like that's where I have to meet in the middle, right? And say, okay, take notice of like those moments. Okay, he's really trying to interact and to connect right now, and so I'm gonna be happy with that for a while. You know what I mean? So that's shit that I'm working on now
Okay.
already,
So what
right?
else can we move on to the
Yes.
second one?
Yeah. Um. Wait, is it me or you? It's me.
Mm-hmm.
Where are we at? Oh, the I statements. I
Yeah,
don't
I
want to
think you
read
get
them all.
no, you get so lost into um so consumed by talking about your needs, you forget about why
Well,
we're
that's
here.
what the I statements are about. They're about expressing like your own needs.
Okay, cool, cool, cool.
Yeah.
But what's the next one? I feel like there's more.
Well, I kind of feel like they're null and void now because you don't feel like you should, or whatever.
No,
Like you don't feel like it's
listen,
your responsibility, which is
listen.
fine.
Okay, I've expressed myself. You've written something down. You've come with a plan and expectation of things to say. I think that you should say them, and then
Okay.
we'll talk about. I don't know, and then we'll see where they fit in the conversation. I don't know. I think, yeah.
So, okay. The second one is, and we already kind of like talked about this, but it frustrates me when we don't connect for long periods of time because it makes me think you don't care about me. What I need is to have a little time here or there that I know I can count on. Like I have those moments right now, right? Like I'm good in this moment, in these past like couple weeks, but sometimes it's like months where like
Mm-hmm.
we're not connecting, and it's not even just you because it's me too, like, right, with my passive aggression and whatever, my poor me, and trying to like just feeling sorry for myself and shit like that, right? Like that's
Yeah,
what
and
what,
a lot
what
of
I'm responsible for.
yeah, and I know we've talked about this before, and like my mind is like so um, I although I don't like discredit what you need or anything like that. I try not to, but
Thank you.
um, you're like a grown ass adult, and I don't have to feel that I also need to drag you along and try and um, hold your hand while we're walking through this life, also trying to evolve and figure out what the hell is going on. Like um, you're smart enough and intelligent enough to try and discern reality and what's going on around us. And my focus is on like, okay, I have to do that for kids already. Okay, and that is where my focus is at, right? This is to try and lead them, advise them, try and tell them what's going on, and show them kind of right from wrong, and teach them things and shit like that. And then here comes you, because there's so much focus on them, upset that you don't have enough attention. So
Not gonna deny that. Yeah, and I
yeah,
think
it's hard.
so.
There's only so much of me that I could
I
give,
know,
right?
and you need time for yourself too. That I think, and this is like a completely a different topic, right? But I think that you don't get because you work, you prioritize that. That's at the top of your list. You have to focus on work. You have to provide for the family and everything and the kids. And but then after all of that, there's like very little room for yourself to get what you need, right? Um, so I get it. It's hard.
Yeah,
Um,
I go to sleep listening to Terrence McKenna. That is me time.
you mean you stay up until 4 in the morning?
Yeah,
You
Jesus.
don't go to sleep.
Okay, I mean, I lie down.
um, there was something else I was gonna say and I don't remember. Um, um, shit.
Okay, what's
We're on
next on
live
your
stream.
list there?
Sorry, guys. Huh? What's
What's
the next
next
one?
on your list? Yeah, everybody,
So,
the 13 of you, thank you guys for joining in, and
hello and
yeah,
welcome.
let us know what you think, or if maybe you think differently, or
Yes,
have
please.
a
Opinions.
different perspective or point of view. Like, we'd love to hear it. We'd love to hear it. What's funny is we kind of like talk about this in front of other people sometimes, but we're definitely not this civil.
No, we're not. And in fact,
It's
I'm
like
surprised it's
like
not
each of us
blowing
are
up.
like trying to say no, like, this is my perspective. This is how I'm thinking right now, and
We should argue on
Liz is
live
doing the
stream more,
same
babe.
thing. Blah blah blah. We're each trying to argue our own points, right?
And
And
we're both not listening to
and
each
that's
other.
that's the middle ground that we're essentially trying to reach and say, okay, like, you know, I agree with you. Okay, I agree with you too. And like, we love
Or
each
not
other,
even,
right? And we move on. We move on.
yeah, or not even agree. Because, like, sometimes it's necessary to agree to disagree, but at
And that's
least to be
cool
able to
too.
get to that point, that in itself is middle ground, right?
And
Like,
that's,
it's
yeah.
okay. We disagree. Like, we walk differently in life, right? You're not as dependent.
All
I'm
right, but
dependent.
yeah, and the point I was trying to make though is like, I'm sure we scare other people.
Oh my God, the poor
They're like,
kids.
oh my god. No, that yeah, I think the kids are all right though.
They're good because they know us. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, they know each of our demeanors and our personalities and shit. I don't think they take too much to heart. They're like, even though they're like, ugh.
I know they roll their eyes, or they'll just go upstairs. Or Nene Beans will chime in, "Stop fighting."
Honey
Sometimes,
buns, we're not fighting. We're
sometimes we're just
bickering.
loudly bickering. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
we both get
It's
loud.
totally not fighting. Even the older girls will say, Nini, they're not fighting.
Like we're arguing about some fact or something. No, it's this. I swear it's this.
But yeah,
Stop fighting.
but she just, yeah, like, she probably just doesn't enjoy conflict, any kind of conflict,
Well,
and
that's
that's
I
cool
think
too.
most people.
Yeah, absolutely.
Actually, that's funny because the article I brought today is resolving conflict.
Nice. That's the
So,
most difficult thing to do.
what's that?
I think that's one of the most difficult things to do in life.
Resolving conflict
Yeah.
is incredibly hard, especially because you have to really set yourself aside, right? Like this is maybe cliche. I learned this in therapy, but like the fly on the wall that observes what's going on in the room,
Yep.
right?
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Um. So,
And
anyways,
yeah, I'm pretty good with that, like at work and shit. Like resolving conflict. Just because I don't, I definitely don't want to play in that, like sandbox at all.
the drama sandbox
Yeah,
of
there's
like
no way.
working high school
Dude, are you
adults,
kidding me?
you know.
Yes, there's no way. No.
Well,
Guys,
and
there's
it's
this
easier.
solution, there's this solution, there's this solution.
Yeah.
It's fine. We could figure out the mistakes later if we want to, but we could move on for now.
Well, I think it's easy too, right? When you're at work because you don't there's not like the same level of emotion tied into like a work relationship as there
Yeah,
is
yeah, yeah.
with your family, right?
Agreed. Yeah,
So
I
it's
agree.
easier. So the workplace would actually be a really good place to practice conflict resolving, right? Because it's
Yeah, but not a lot of people are good at it. Yeah, like you'd be surprised how many people at work would much rather place blame than try and resolve something
and take ownership and just solve the
or take
fucking thing.
accountability or anything like that. You wouldn't believe it.
That's
I'm
the
telling you the
massive
percentage
ego.
is over it's like, overwhelmingly it's like it's over 50%. Definitely.
Um oh, the ego is what I was going to say. I mean that's like that we see that, right? All over the world is this, but especially like in the work field here in this country at least,
Yeah.
just this massive fucking ego from people. It's like they have some type of reputation that they are protecting, but it's so much quicker and so much more efficient to just be like authentic,
Well, yeah,
to get to
otherwise
the
yeah,
bottom of something. And
otherwise to me you're never learning. You never fucking learn. Ever.
right, and we don't all perfectly take ownership. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, we,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No,
sometimes
I
we
know.
don't even
But that
realize that we need
that's
to.
yeah, but those are even the more complex issues. I'm talking about trivial shit.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about originally. But um, okay, so I'm gonna move on. Yeah.
Yep.
So the next one, and this one's like one that I kind of threw together and didn't give much thought to it. So don't judge me, babe. But I get really down on myself when you're annoyed with me because I feel like I'm a burden to you in those moments. I need to feel appreciated by you.
That's funny because I just said I don't, you know.
I know
Uh, okay.
your mood
So,
skill.
um, okay.
Yeah, that's it. So those are my three I statements, and then I have this article that I want to just read over real quick.
And by the way, you guys, I know this sounds like couples counseling, definitely, and not therapy Thursday, although it is therapy and it
Well,
is
it
Thursday,
fits.
and I think any of these things that we're talking about could possibly be going on in your life with
Hmm.
somebody else other than a partner, right?
Yeah, it
You could
doesn't
be
have to be a
irritated with a
partner.
family member. You
Yeah,
could be irritated with your son or daughter or your mom or your grandma
we all can learn communication skills and
or
conflict
boss.
resolution. So
Yeah.
it doesn't have to be pertaining only to an intimate relationship.
Yep.
Okay, so I'm actually going to pull this up over here. Hold on.
Bring this down.
So the title of the article is Seven Steps to Resolving Conflict with a Passive Aggressive. I don't necessarily, I mean, I think that I can certainly be passive aggressive. But this is more just for conflict resolution in general is why I'm bringing it up. So I feel like it's helpful either way, whether you're dealing with passive aggression or not. Um, so the first step is to cool down, right? That makes sense. We don't want to go and try to find solutions when our heads are cloudy. We want to approach the situation with the most level-headedness as possible so that we can get to that solution, right?
So, what are you trying to say that you shouldn't react to things with your emotion?
You shouldn't try to solve a problem with your if your emotions are tied into it. Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Okay, so what you're saying is that you should cool down so that you can gain some logic.
Yes. That's what I'm saying. Would you like me to write that down and sign it?
I just need some kind of contract. Yes, I'm kidding.
I love you, babe.
Um. Okay. Yep. I could agree.
Right. I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, so step 2, discuss. Talk to your partner about exactly what the problem is. Both of you should define the problem from your own point of view. You want to make sure the conversation you think you're having is the conversation you're actually having. Don't try to read your partner's mind. So communicate, right? Calm down first and then communicate. The next one is brainstorm. This is work together to come up with ideas and options for solving your problem. Make a list of all the possible solutions. Include ones you don't like, ones your partner might not like, and ones that sound crazy but could maybe possibly work. Throw it all out there, which is true too, right? If you're gonna, you want to have as many options in your repository as possible, so that you guys can both find that perfect, well, almost perfect, I guess, middle ground, right? Because nothing's perfect, but to be able to agree, okay, some of these solutions work for me, some of them don't. This is what we both agree on, right? So I think that's huge. Pros and cons. Now that you have your list of ideas, go through your list and discuss the pros and cons for them. Talk about what you like about the ideas and what you don't like. So not only are we like expressing, okay, this isn't working for me, but we're also explaining why it doesn't work, right? Or why it does work. Okay, the next one is win-win. Choose a solution that works best for both parties. Have the intention that everyone wins, or at least that no one loses. The win-win solution is the best one, but obviously it's not always realistic in every conflict.
See, and this is great because this kind of this is like one of the reasons why I enjoy game theory, because economically we've got lots of losers, okay? There's people in third world countries, there's people that are starving, there's people that need water, there's people that are in dire need economically, okay, for the things that are necessary for any human being to live, okay? So they have the losing end of the stick, if you will, okay? Like they didn't, because they were born in on the wrong end of the world. It doesn't matter. It shouldn't matter where you were born. So what's interesting is this algorithm called Nash equilibrium in mathematics. And what Nash equilibrium is this concept of playing a game where there's no losers essentially, and everybody can walk away with essentially equal incentives, right? Equal benefit, right? Everybody, yes, benefits equally, exactly. Or yeah, so there are no losers. So that was really cool, and that was John Nash that came up with that, and that's why crypto economics and this whole blockchain is super interesting to me, because of that application of like trying to help people who continually lose battles in life, man. And that could be in wherever, like court battles. That could be anything, right? Many things. So if we apply this type of logic into current systems that we have, then the outcome would be more beneficial to those parties, and not so much control of control being in the hand of this third party or the state in this example, or a government or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I like that. I like the idea of like your outcome trying to be a win-win situation.
Yeah, I think, well, I mean, and that's like super important for the topic, right? Conflict resolution. There has to be, don't you dare start that without me.
No, I'm not. Jesus.
Yeah, so we ready? I'll go on. There's two steps left. So execute the solution is the next one. Put your idea into practice and see what happens. Be sure to give it time. Change isn't immediate, right? So testing what you kind of think is going to work. Maybe you find something that you think was going to work doesn't, and that's okay, because it brings you closer to the actual resolution of the conflict, right?
To the truth, unless you're in
Yeah.
denial and you're like, oh my god, did I do something wrong? I need to try that again. Let's try that again.
I know. Oh God. That's yeah, the definition of insanity. But I think most of us operate from that state, at least at some point in
No,
our
no, no,
lives,
we
right?
do. I'm just like we've all been there. Fuck, did I fuck up? Did I say something wrong? Did I do it wrong? No, you know what? Let's try it again. You fail again, but you know, the
You learn though.
yeah, of course, eventually. Yeah, I'm sure. Like, how many of us actually learn the first time, right?
Right. Some
Unless
yeah,
it's
I
a
know I
life or
have to
death
learn.
situation, then
I have to
hopefully
fuck
you
up.
learn the first time. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, it shouldn't be 10, 20, 30, 40 times, or here
Of
you
it
are
not
50 years
working.
old and you're still fucking trying something that hasn't
Oh my
worked for
God.
you,
There are
and you blame the world and not yourself.
some people though that are
Okay, yeah.
okay, so the next and last step is evaluate the situation. Come back after you've tried out the solution for a while. You might want to agree on a date to discuss it. Did it work? What, if anything, might you do better next time? It says there are also some important behavioral do's and don'ts that will help make these conflict resolution steps work or fail to work. You may want to add that you may want to add to this list, then go over with your partner before you start discussing the issues at hand. So I'm just going to read off the do's and don'ts real quick.
All right.
Do focus on the present, or do focus on the present or the future. Don't rehash history, which is a big one, right? Because I think we all tend to like, oh, well, you remember when you did this and remember blah, 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 which doesn't help us advance and, right?
What,
Do,
remembering?
huh?
Remembering?
No, just like staying stuck in that moment of that happened in the past instead of trying to focus on how to make it better going forward.
Okay.
Right? Does that make sense? It says, do use a respectful tone. Don't raise your voice or use insulting words or facial expressions, right? Because that's going to keep the attention of the other person too. But not only that, but it feels better, right? I think when you, like, we're being really civil right now, the two of us. It feels so much better to me than like, getting mad and like losing my shit. Do respect your partner's feelings and ideas. Do not criticize, attack, blame, or humiliate. That's only going to take us, again, that step backwards. Do take responsibility for your own actions. Don't tell your partner what to do. Do spend the time necessary to reach to a solution. Do not physically attack the other person or threaten violence.
Jesus Christ.
But there's people out there that do that
I
shit,
know,
though.
I know.
Do focus on solving the problem. Don't focus on being right. It's not about being right. It's about finding the answer, right? It's about finding the solution that works for both of you.
Well, if you're right, then you've found the answer.
But that's not the point, though. It shouldn't be the driving point is to be right.
I know,
right?
I know.
Okay. Making sure. Part of being human is having needs. Part of the reality of being in a relationship is facing the fact that your partner also has needs. And sometimes those needs aren't in line with yours. It's unrealistic to expect to live without some discord. In a healthy relationship, conflict, when used effectively, can bring you closer together by helping you work to increase your empathy and understanding. So yeah, it's not even saying like you have to be responsible for the other person's
Okay,
needs.
so
But
what do you take out of that article? Because you found it to be resonating.
yeah, I just the methods of resolving conflict. I think like that's
Like, to me, that's all
something.
common sense, right?
Yeah, I mean, and it is common sense to me too, right? But I think it's like something to practice, something to use, like another tool, right? Just having steps in place. Okay, did I calm down first? Because I tend to, when there is a conflict, I want to jump right in there and fucking fix that shit. And sometimes I'm not in the right mental state to do that. And so for me, remembering to calm down is huge.
Yeah.
So just to kind of have a guideline to help in those emotional states.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's what the article is for me. What about you?
Very nice. What?
What do you take from it? I mean, I know it's obviously all very common sense, but is there something
Yeah, maybe,
that
maybe some people need to be organized with when they're dealing with shit like that. Maybe some people already are organized and they take nothing away from that article. Um,
Do you take nothing from it?
no, no, no. Like, I'll probably have to be reminded to like not be emotional about shit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Um, not that. Yeah, because I tend to fall into this bucket of dogma. Okay, I've been through this.
Here we go.
I've seen it. I've been through this. I've seen it. I'm more experienced. Just listen to me, because I know what the outcome's gonna be, right?
I hate when you do that. Fucking hate it because I'm like, no, there's this way too. That's not the only way.
Yeah. So I know, I can definitely I tend to get into those modes for sure. But I like, yeah, yeah. I don't want to excuse that behavior for sure. But um, you have more "I told you so" moments.
What a life. What a fucking life. This is my boyfriend, ladies and
Uh,
gentlemen. Love you to death. But god damn it.
I I don't think I was ever made to be boyfriend material. I'm dead serious.
I'm not gonna argue. I can't say what you were made for,
I
but
don't want you to.
no, I think this is a good one. So let's this is just for fun and totally on a whim here, but um what we think each other's purpose is, right? Like I'm only just starting to realize like I have a purpose and I kind of think I know what that purpose is. But
Yeah.
I want to hear what your perspective is.
Of what your purpose is?
Yeah, and I'll go first. I'll say yours, yeah?
I don't know what your purpose is, to be honest with you. Um, I mean, on like a macro scale, it's um, on a macro scale, I could see how you fit into nature because of your rebelliousness, and you're essentially um, the opposite of what's going on today, right? You're like, nope, not gonna do that. That's ordinary. Nope. So you're the complete opposite. So you're basically like in nature's um antidote, I guess. I don't know what you would call it.
That's awesome.
What do you call it? Um, Antibodies. You're like the universe's antibodies.
I'm the white blood cells.
Yeah, you're what creates
The few
pus
and
in the
far.
world. Yes.
Again, my boyfriend, ladies and gentlemen. um, oh, fuck you. How do I talk shit now? I hate that. Okay, like I hate that I'm not witty enough to, because you're just out there, right? You just talk about whatever, and you have these like funny fucking comebacks and shit that are like out of nowhere. I'll be completely dead serious about something, and you'll pull this random thing out of your ass, and I'm like, it throws me off. Like, what the hell am I supposed to say to that? Like, I don't even know. So yeah,
Yeah,
I
we
wish I were.
definitely need to have
I
more
wish I were more witty.
conversations. Um,
What's that?
yeah, 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 yeah.
What
Yeah.
did you say?
No, no, no. I'd like. I wish we had more. That we definitely have more live streams for that wittiness to come out, because it doesn't. I think it only comes out because I can naturally talk to you, right?
Yes, and I'm scared of
And
you.
that Jesus. See, I do nothing, you guys. I promise you, I do nothing.
Well, I wasn't scared when I met you.
Um, and it's like, um, yeah, I'm comfortable talking to you. That's all.
That's
So
awesome.
when
I'm
I'm
glad.
comfortable talking to you, I don't need to.
You talk more shit.
Yeah, well, I need no, I don't need to process how I'm
Right.
gonna say what I'm gonna say,
That's
and
true.
kind of
Yeah.
structure things. It's
That's
just
true.
whatever.
where I'm always like concerned if you're judging me and shit. Yeah, that's the insecurity
Yep.
demon. I fucking hate it. Um, what was I gonna say?
Purpose.
Oh yeah, your purpose, I think, is to educate the world. Without a doubt. Hands down, you are an educator.
Hmm. Yeah.
Um, so what do you think your purpose is, and what do I think my purpose is? You first.
Yeah, I could see that. I can see um how that could be. Um and not because I'm like not because I'm like professor status or anything like that, but because I'm a normal fucking human being that comes to understand something a certain way and then can like help try and relay that to somebody else. Like kids, for example, right? They're like the most important organism here to try and teach. So you have to teach it from a kid's perspective. If a kid don't doesn't get it, then an adult is not going to get it. That's like the approach you have to take, right? You have to be
Uh-huh.
able to
Yep.
explain to a kid, and if you could explain to a kid, you could explain to an adult,
Yep.
and then you build from there and explain even further and get into more detail. And, and that's honestly how I learn. You learn from like really simple shit. You learn from shapes. You learn from the words that are being used. You learn how um, the puzzles that are being solved in certain ways. We all learn differently, visually, um, through auditory or um, whatever. Uh, Tons of different ways. Um, and I don't know. I don't know. I just yeah. I guess I could see that. I, I could see that for sure. Like I've been saying this probably for a few years now. Oh, I mean, definitely more than a few years, maybe like 5 years. Um, but we all try and figure out what our purpose is. We all do. Like, I can't sit here and tell you exactly what the fuck that is, because as soon as I tell you what my purpose is and I start doing it, then I'm not satisfied and off to figure out what another purpose is. Okay,
Well,
and
the purpose change can change, and that's totally okay too.
yeah, see,
We
so when
change.
I and that's cool. That's a better logic to, I think, look at this at or as, because when you say purpose, I think that's like a set in stone.
That's absolute, and there's
Yeah,
nothing absolute.
right, right. And I would hate it if there was an absolute.
Yeah, because that's too much pressure and too much fucking expectation.
And too much monotony. To me, it's
Yeah,
monotony.
too much of the same shit. That's definitely not me.
Um, so yeah, I could see that, but I've been saying for a very long time that what would be cool is like starting this um, organization that
Mhm.
like revolved around science and tech, where kids, okay, and adults too, but I like to focus on the kiddos because they're the ones that need it the most.
They're the ones
Um,
that are growing. They
yeah,
are the
they're
future.
gonna absorb the most, and they're more creative just naturally, right? They have no idea. They they haven't been told something, so they don't have an idea of how something is, right? It's a complete clean slate with them. Um, but this this like organization where kiddos can have like access to tools that universities even have access to. I mean, like quantum computers. I mean, like telescopes with with like looking at things through different lighting, like what are they called, spectrometers and shit. Basically, basically things that a university has, but put it in the hands of a child so that they can tinker with it, they can play with it, they can see what we're seeing also, and then we have to try to explain to them what is going on, right? And then that's where innovation and new ideas start clicking. Okay, kids either get it and it's starting to make sense, or now they're coming up with new ideas of how to use something. Well, why don't we do this? Because there's a lot of questions that they're asking and shit, right? And I think we're all like just these big ass kids. I tend to see myself as a big ass kid that just wants to have fun in the world, right? And wants to tinker with things, and it might kill me, but fuck. um, but you learn. Um, yeah, it's that. It's just the progression of human beings and being able to put the tools in the hands of our young people so that we can continue the progression and the evolution of humans. Because we could have gotten so much further than we
Sorry,
have.
I was gonna sneeze.
We could have gotten so much further than we have if it weren't for the restrictions that we have to like being able to access this shit. Huge. So anyways,
Yeah,
I could see
so
why.
we're gonna start some campaign fundraising for Gone
Through
Rogues
Fundition.
project through Fundition.
Yeah, it's like I wouldn't even it would have to start small or something because the vision is grand. It's huge. Quantum computer is like 2.5 million dollars, my friends. Okay?
Yeah, but we could start with the basics. Let's get a spot. Let's get some material,
No, yeah,
and
I
let's
know.
get some marketing. I hate to even use that word because it's not even really marketing, I guess.
So, um okay. So, but for you, what
So my purpose is to um okay, how do I don't want to say okay, I'm just going to say it the way it is in my head, but it sounds egotistical, but to show people like how not like to show people how to love, right? To show people like vulnerability and um just by being my loving self.
hey, listen, there's this and I will jump through a rabbit hole right now and like just fuck it.
Do it, baby.
Um Listen, there's this idea, okay, of indigo children and crystal children and shit like that, where you're basically these entities, these energies that have come to Earth, okay, and you've no idea what you're doing here, but what comes naturally to you is love, okay, so what comes naturally to you is this idea of love and trying to express that, basically trying to propagate love, right? Trying to seed it on Earth because there's so much
Hatred
unbalance, yeah, on Earth.
or
Okay,
fear rather would be the exact opposite
yeah,
of love.
whatever it is, it's like the darkness is it's like it's teetering towards the side of the darkness right now, towards really really ugly energies and shit. Although, um, there's like this influx of anyways. That's this rabbit hole. This idea that there's this influx of entity energy of basically the universe. Like I said, you're like the antidote, you're the antibodies of what fights off the dark or helps try to fight off the dark. So how do you do that? You basically plant Earth with these Earthlings who spread love and try and yeah teach other people. I get it. I do. I get it.
That's interesting you say that because I've always wondered if like if I'm an indigo and if like my kid's an indigo, but I grew up and I had ADHD and I have ADD today. I really think the hyperactivity aspect of it was just being a child, right? Um, but they say that kids that are born, and this is just to go further down the rabbit hole, but kids that are born with ADD, ADHD are actually indigos, and it's not that there's like a disability, but rather this extra ability or abilities that are there, right?
Yeah, and
And
it's right like
and they
psychic abilities,
and shit like that, right? And they medicate these
intuition.
right, and
Yeah,
they medicate these kids because they these kids come out and they have they're born. Everyone I think is born with empathy, but these kids these people keep their empathy, and so to like mitigate that that's where the medication comes in, and I was medicated up until I was about 12. And like it turned me into a completely different person. But as soon as I got off the shit, I was like back to myself, you know?
Yeah, well, that
Um,
is like, again, another rabbit hole. You could say, okay, that is the upper echelons of the system, um, trying to control the minds of our children and shit like that, trying to keep them at bay. No, this is not how you're feeling. No, no, you should feel this way. Okay, so they switch up your chemical, your chemical structure, and yeah, it essentially rewires your brain. Because I mean, quite honestly, one of the biggest misunderstood things about our existence today is the history of humankind. Okay, it is the biggest mystery. We have no idea what our history is, and we cannot even claim to know what our history is. Not at all. Not at all. You think 400 years? You think 400, understanding 400 or 2,000 years or whatever actually means something on a bigger scale of like evolution of this biology that we call the human being or whatever other biological thing that's walking this earth? You think that is
is
the
enough, right?
history of something? That is enough history to say yes, that's who you are? There's no way. That is one of the biggest mysteries and probably misconceptions of um, life today is like the history of human beings. And I think there is so much more behind us that either we're being told or shit that we have to go out and search for. Okay, there are truths to be found. That's it.
Yep. Rally the truth.
Um,
Rally the truth.
but yeah, that is definitely a rabbit hole. But one that I love to get into because I hate to claim that we know these things. And just a couple characteristics of crystal or indigo children, okay? And this might be complete bullshit to you, but prove to me that it's bullshit, and I would gladly listen, okay? I will gladly listen. But a few characteristics of indigo children are highly psychic with with a need for owning psychic ability, vibrational being, and may have a gift for music and singing,
Hello.
peaceful and loving toward all, may carry autism or Asperger's spectrum
Mm-hmm.
labels. They're protective of the planet.
Oh,
They're
yes.
compassionate and forgiving. They uh, their radiant vibration transforms those around them, so that would be the seeding, the propagation of it, right? They're animal lovers, vegetarians at an early stage. They're empathetic. Um, I mean, there's just tons. There's tons of shit in here. Tons of stuff. So,
So,
anyways,
so what do you think?
what do I think of what? I think you're.
Indigo kids.
What do you mean? What do I think?
Just, I mean, do you tend to believe that to be more truth, or are you skeptical of it?
No, no, no. Like I said, I think there's that human history is a complete mystery,
Right?
and the search for our true origins is still up for grabs, and this resonates with me.
Good.
Yeah, and it has
Good.
for a while. I think um, one reason why we kind of like got together was because of like my I guess my understanding of this stuff, right?
Well, on your politics, which falls into that shit because for me, you see the world for what it is and not for what it could be or should be, although you see those things too, and you look at those things too. You have a really um realistic approach when it comes to like your worldviews, which I enjoy, right? But there's also that hope too there, right?
Yeah,
um like for us, like I personally tend to want to focus more on the um like the Elon Musks of the world, right? And the
Right.
Bernie Sanders of the world.
Yeah, and even though like we don't agree with everything the guy says, right? We don't agree with all of his
Like the
politics.
Russia
We
shit
don't
and
agree with that, and
yeah.
that's fine. But what we're trying to say is at the heart of that human being there is good intention. Okay.
Yes. Yep.
He
And that's
doesn't
all
have,
we care
and he
about in
doesn't,
politics, folks.
he doesn't have all the answers, and he never claims that he does. Okay.
Not
What
driven
he
by greed.
what he wants are for us to come up with answers, because socialism hasn't worked, um, communism hasn't worked, capitalism hasn't worked. The free market hasn't worked. The free market hasn't worked. All of
Right.
these attempts at an economic system or societal structure have not worked. So, if things haven't worked, what is the next fucking thing that we have to do? You fools. It is to come
Damn.
up with a new system to work with, okay? And we have to test things out, and we have to try, like, it's through trial and error that we figure these things out, and either they work or we move on, and then we can move on. And we have to test Bernie out, okay? We have to test this theory that we can actually improve the society around us, and that's you and I, and that's being involved in a community, and that's just effort, putting effort into rebuilding society. So we have to try these things out instead of saying, yeah, like these ridiculous arguments because they see Venezuela has failed, and that's a socialist system. And it's nonsense because Venezuela is a socialistic system, but they work under a dictatorship who is just as corrupt as the government here in the United States of America and abroad. Okay, so how can a system work when all you have to work within a system is corruption? Right? It's nonsense. It's nonsense. It's complete and utter nonsense. And anyway, we have to try new things.
This is why I love you. um yeah, so that's all that I have for Therapy Thursdays.
Sweet.
You want to get down on some Fortnite?
No. I think this was good.
This was awesome, and we should definitely do it again
I
next
think
week.
it was good, and we'll do it again next week for sure.
Yeah.
Because it is good to it is good to vent. And then it helps us jump down those rabbit holes that we kind of want to jump down, but
We don't because we're too busy yelling instead of trying to be civil.
yeah. Anyway, I think this will help. Let us know what you guys think. Thank you
Yeah.
for tuning into the stream.
Yeah, you guys are
Welcome
awesome.
to Gone Rogue's channel, and we've got Narashi here with us.
22 watching at the moment.
Yep. And we kind of just went through, at first it was the majority of the stream was kind of, the title doesn't throw it off. It was Therapy Thursday, okay? But it revolved more around, I guess, the struggles within
Our
relationship, right? A relationship. But they could be applied to many aspects in a person's life. Okay, they could be between you in a relationship with your mother or your father or son, daughter, aunt,
Absolutely.
uncle, boss, whatever, friend, neighbor. So it's good stuff. It's good stuff to talk about.
Well, and just to throw this out there, every Thursday, every Therapy Thursdays, I will come with shit from the relationship dynamic, right? Because that's like,
Oh Lord.
for me, what I prioritize and what needs work aside from like my own inner work, right? The shit that I do for myself. But
Here's
so
the
it's
thing. And that's fine. And one thing that I would much rather like see are solutions. Don't come with nonsense, right?
right,
Don't come
not
with
just
the
problems,
right?
right. I want like I brought conflict resolution today and I statements and shit like that. It's not all going to be like, okay, this is the problem, this is the problem, this is the problem.
Yeah. Nobody wants to just hear
Yeah,
complaints, right?
bitch about shit, right? That's what the steaming pile is for.
No. Do we complain on there? There's no way we complain on there.
No, it's mostly like
How
relevant
dare
shit
you,
though, like
Narashi?
like
Guys,
politics.
John, she's bashing the steaming
Hey,
pile after she just said that she was one of her proudest moments this week is being a
it's one
part
of my proudest
of
moments.
engaging
Hey,
in the
I
steaming
love the
pile.
steaming pile, like with
Yeah.
a passion. I
No,
love it.
I know. I'm just giving you shit.
Um, is
Who
it
the
the
hell's at
kiddo?
probably. I don't know. Um, but yeah, it was fun. We ended off on through you know take traveling through a couple rabbit holes, which is
Yes,
awesome,
perfect.
and definitely stuff I like to get into. There are plenty of rabbit holes to be explored, and lots of stuff that I would entertain, because I think there's lots yet to be understood in life, and we can't sit here
Sure.
and claim that we know everything. There's no
Oh,
way.
for sure.
Absolutely no way. If you think we know
Yep.
everything, you're egotistical.
Well,
And
not only that, but you're setting yourself up for failure.
yeah, um, and yeah, because you're in this ideology or this dogma. Yes, it is her. You're you're in this dogma or in this
Oh,
ideology where when something does not go as planned, then your entire worldview comes crashing down. Done, done. Now you have to start over anyways.
yep. Yeah, and what a disappointment that is too, to think you know everything and then to just be slapped in the head with the salmon.
Cool. Well, thank you guys for tuning in. I've got nothing else, babes.
No,
Unless you
yeah,
do.
I'm good. I
Cool.
thought this was awesome.
Yeah,
I
it
loved
was
it.
good. We kept it short enough, I think.
Yeah, I didn't
Um,
want it to drag out
what was it?
too
In
long.
a
An
little over an
hour,
hour?
a
Sweet.
little bit.
Cool. Let us know what you guys think. Davey Z, drop your comments and steam it, dude. Let us know what you thought. I have no idea. Either way, we're going to do this regardless of whether there's 22 people watching or not. Um, I think it's just, I think it's important and good shit to try and, get out there and um, find answers. That's it. Just find
Yep.
answers to things that we all go through. Every one of us. All right. Cheers. Any last words or like positive messages?
You only fail when you quit.
Oh my God. No. Listen. My daughter wrote this. Okay. She came to me and she's like, "Dad, check this quote out."
She made it herself.
So
Ten
what
years old.
what does it say?
You never quit when you fail. You fail when you quit.
You never quit when you fail. You fail when you quit. You fail when you quit.
Right. So just
Okay.
because you fail doesn't mean it's over. But when you quit, that's really a failure because you're giving up.
Yeah. That's it. That's it. When you're done trying something, when you're done doing something, it's done. You're setting the intention for that to never happen, right? Or never ever manifest or become something of in reality, right? You're
Mm-hmm.
setting yourself up for failure when you tell yourself that, when you quit. Yeah. So I thought that was awesome. Good one, babes.
Yep. 10
Cool.
years old.
Yep. So excellent, excellent, excellent. Thanks, babes. Thank you for coming on with us and chatting about nonsense.
Wait, who's us? I thought we were the us in the
We
live
are
stream.
the us. It's me and everybody else here
Oh,
against
right.
you,
It's you
okay?
and D live against the world.
No, it's the world against you, remember?
Damn it. Do you see that wit? I can't keep up with that shit. I come up with one good thing and I'm like, yeah. Aw.
All right. Cheers, you guys. Happy Thursday. And go hug your significant other or something. Go
Hug
hug
yourself.
somebody. Go hug somebody. All right. Cheers, though. We're out of here, and we'll see you guys very, very soon.
It will see
Possibly
you
over the weekend.
at the very least on Tuesday.
Yeah, at the very least, on the steaming pile
Steaming
on
pile,
Tuesday.
7:30 Mountain Standard Time.
Yep. Tune in, check us out, let us know what you think. But cheers, everybody. Appreciate you guys tuning in, and welcome to the channel.